If you're in the real estate business, whether it's wholesaling, fix and flips, buying rentals, short-term, long-term, or even working as an agent, I'm pretty sure you know or you're about to know how hard it's getting to scale your business. Banks aren't lending like they used to. Interest rates, even though they're going down, they're still at an all-time high. Funding options are starting to dry up due to the same methods being rinse and repeat every single time. And investors are getting denied left and right. But here's the truth. If you don't have your credit in order, you're going to struggle even more. Your revenue isn't the problem. It's because you're not positioned for the funding. So let's go ahead and break down how you could stop this so you can stop hitting these roadblocks and start getting the capital you need. So go grab your pen and paper, and without further ado, let's dive in. So let's start with the real reason of why real estate entrepreneurs cannot get the funding. The real estate market is shifting and lenders are getting stricter with approvals. It doesn't matter if it's a hard money lender or even banks and certain lenders outside of that as well. Because in 2025, we're looking at 1.8 trillion in commercial real estate loans that are coming due, ladies and gents, which means that banks are tightening up on all lending, and it's not even just commercial. This is just an example. Regional banks, which fund a huge portion of real estate deals, are pulling back due to the increased risk. Because as you can see right here on the screen, you can see from the graph in 2024, it was at a whopping 659 billion. But because of the mature in 2025, it's now hit 539 billion. So with all the actual jargon and the graphs that I'm showing you, here's what this actually means for you. Even if you're making 6 or 7 figures, banks aren't just looking at your revenue anymore. They're looking at your credit profile, your banking history, and whether your business looks fundable. That is the main avenues that they are looking at, okay? And I know you did the hard part as far as gathering the revenue, which is awesome and great. But you have to understand, if you don't know how to structure your personal and your business credit, you are going to keep running into dead ends, just holding your money up saying, I have the money, just give me more money. And they're not gonna give you anything. Now, here are some of the biggest mistakes investors make, especially in 2025. A lot of real estate entrepreneurs assume that revenue alone will just get you approved for everything. Again, that was in 2019, but not now. And then on top of that, you have to understand this. You're in a high risk industry. So you have a high risk industry as far as real estate, anything real estate, doesn't matter if it's Airbnb or not, and you don't have the credit profile, you are definitely, the only thing that they're gonna do for you, these banks and lenders, is hold the door open for you while they kick you out. That's all that they're gonna do for you. Because lenders are checking your personal credit first. And if your score is too low, your utilization is too high, and you have a history of late payments, you're already a risk right then and there, okay? So you have to clean all of this up. Then on top, we didn't even get into business credit. Let's go ahead and get into that. Most people either ignore it or completely just set it to the side, which I don't understand why. I kind of understand why, because a lot of times they used to lean on just, your personal credit, but your business credit is starting to sneak up there, and they're starting to look into all this information as well. Because the reality is banks are now looking at your DUNS number. They're looking at Experian Business and even your SBSS score if they want to approve you. And your SBSS score, they're starting to use as your business FICO score. And even alternative lenders and like the DSCR loans, the providers are starting to pull from business credit reports as well, just to see what you're actively doing. Because the problem isn't that there's no money available. There's a lot of money. They're printing money all the time. But the problem is that you're not positioned to access this funding, okay? You're not in position to access this money. So if you're actively trying to scale your real estate business in 2025, then you need to know these 2 things right here. So with that being said, step 1 is fixing your personal credit. Get rid of all of those negatives that hurt your approval chances. The chances of you getting approval funding and the chances of you getting approved for a home are totally 2 different things. When it came to the home, they'll ask you why you were late. But when it comes to the funding, they just see late and they're just going to deny you right then and there. The next thing that you need to do is lower your utilization. Aim for under 10%, especially for the revolving accounts before applying. And establish a credit mix that lenders can actually trust. So that means, credit cards, personal loans and things of that nature, okay? And even with that, step 2, you need to build your business credit the correct way, making sure your LLC is set up properly as far as the entity structure and things of that nature. Your EIN is looking good on all cylinders, and making sure that your business bank accounts are set up all to match as well. Because you need to make sure that your NAICS codes or any other codes that you have are not flagging any high risk when you're going for funding. And then step 3, that's when you can actually prepare for the real funding. That's when banks start pulling multiple bureaus, things of that nature. And I know you're wondering like, oh, well, this bank is only supposed to pull from TransUnion. Why did they pull my Experian as well? Yeah, because they watch these videos too, and they're trying to make sure they stay one step ahead of you. So if your TransUnion looks good and your Experian looks terrible, you're still going to get denied. So this is why you have to have it strong on all 3 sides. And the next thing, making sure that you understand that banking history is starting to matter even more, even for the less needy banks and things of that nature. So you have to make sure that that is set up properly. And the last thing also is making sure that your profile is structured right. So it doesn't look like you're begging for the funding. It looks like you don't need the funding, but you're just asking for it. Does that make sense? Now, with all of that being said, you're juggling everything as far as making sure that you're meeting your quotas in your business. You're making sure that everything in your real estate business is staying afloat. You're fixing your personal credit. You're structuring your business credit and funding sequences properly to unlock the real business funding. That is when you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor as far as the business credit lines, using the acquisitions for renovations, marketing, you name it. And then on top of that, you'll even be able to get higher loan approvals as well because your financials look stronger. And then on top of that, it'll be even easier to access private money and partnerships because real investors check credit too. You got to understand that they're not just going off a handshake, and I'm pretty sure you know that. And I know you're thinking, man, that's a lot of stuff. I already have all the stuff that I'm doing in my business. I'm trying to make sure I generate a certain amount of money every single month. And you might not even be used to the actual personal credit game or the business credit game, but that's okay because this is where I created the How to Credit Start program. And if you've ever been denied for funding before, we will actually show you why and actually how to fix this issue so it doesn't happen moving forward. Even if you've never built business credit, we still walk you through the steps, step by step, to make sure that you have this set up so you don't have any issues if any banks will pull your business credit. And if you've already started hitting roadblocks and you're trying to scale right now, then this is the actual way you need to start. Because the How to Credit Start program is for all of my high income business owners, especially real estate agents or anybody that's in the real estate business to really scale, but they can't because, your time is limited in other places and other avenues. You don't have enough time to be sending things off, trying to learn business funding from all 1,000 of these videos and things like that nature. You don't know who to go to. This is a one-stop shop for everything right here. Because if you're struggling to get the funding for real estate, it's not just the market, it's how you're actually positioned for the funding, which you're not positioned at all. So again, I'm going to keep reiterating, you have to understand that your personal credit matters. Your business credit matters. And if you structure it the right way, banks will fund you with no problem, even in this market. And if you want to stop getting denied and start getting access to real capital, check out my How to Credit Start program and let's get you funding the right way. So once you click that link in the bio and you sign up for a free consultation with the How to Credit Start program, you got to understand that we really go to bat for you because we want to make sure that you have every single thing lined up. So when you go to these banks, no matter if it's in your jurisdiction, no matter if it's Wells Fargo, somebody you've been banging with since day one, but they have really good business, banking products or anything like that. We want to make sure everything is aligned up. So even if they do any, meeny, miny, mo, and they pull from just whatever, everything looks solid. Everything looks extremely strong for you because that is actually what you want. And you want the knowledge going into it instead of just going in it blind and saying, what do I do next? I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it step by step, and I'm gonna hold your hand throughout the whole way. So what I want you to do is click the link below for all of my real estate investors that's already generating revenue so we can get you the funding that you're looking for and scale your business and clean your credit the right way. I wanna thank you guys for stopping by. Now, if you know any real estate business agents or anything like that that could really use this to scale their business, go ahead and send them this video as well so they can scale along with you. Again, I wanna thank you guys for stopping by. And until next time, ladies and gents.